Hey guys, so in this video I'd like to talk to you about one big passion of mine, which you may have noticed from my spiritual YouTube channel, that I do have those channels in actually 3 languages, and that means that I do have a passion for languages, and I would like to talk to you about it, about how I learn languages, and why I do it. So I believe that, others out there can really relate to this, because it is, when you really sort of feel this joy of learning a language, of being able to, express your thoughts or communicate in this other language, you do kind of catch this passion to it, right? And it just happened in my life that when I was very little, I was brought up in an environment where I was born into family with one language, but then I was suddenly sent to this kindergarten where they spoke a whole different language, and in the beginning I just did not understand what they were saying there. I was shocked, but then, in like 3 days I managed to start picking up the other language, and slowly I was able to speak it. And the reason I was able to do that was because I was 3 years old, right? So children are really fast with languages. And that was really a big thing for me because I was already curious, oh, so you can say the same thing like differently in different languages, that's so cool, how do you say this thing in this language? How do you say this thing in this language? So that was very exciting. And also I was kind of had friends that were speaking one language, right? And then these other friends that were in the kindergarten, right? And they spoke this language. Some of them like spoke like same 2 languages I did, but not everyone did. So it was very interesting, So that was like the beginning, and then in life I was just always interested in languages. I always wanted to learn more, and I suppose that the fact that I learned those languages when I was so little, I was able to sort of catch the most important thing when you learn a language. Because a lot of people, when they attempt to learn a language, they just think that it's just so hard. It's like you have to remember all this stuff. How do you remember all this? There's different pronunciation, there's this, there's that, there's all this grammar, and just too much. How do you do it? But it's not about of course, like, grammar and all those formulas are very important because they can help you in the process. But then again, everyone is different. So some people may have it easier with these grammar things. Some people may have like different approach to it. But what I really found to be fun about languages is kind of like seeing the worldview of that language, right? The worldview of that country. So I don't know, say you're learning, okay, I'm in Japan, so say you're learning Japanese, okay, and it's not just like a bunch of letters and words and grammar and things, symbols. It's a lot more than that. There is life in that language. So by learning phrases, by learning the words, by learning the grammar, right, you sort of see it through the lens of Japan, of that culture. And it's like you feel it, it's like you live it. And this is how it's easier to learn it. You don't just learn it by remembering and memorizing in your head, because that can just disappear very quickly. But when you memorize, like, learn in this kind of feeling, kind of say, when you feel the language, when you feel the culture, when you kind of imagine how people say it, how people use it, how people are, like how their daily life is with it, it's a whole different process. It's very interesting, it's very exciting, and it's like you do find this like new little world for yourself, because interestingly, in different languages, there's different ways of saying things. Like you could say the same thing, but like the phrase, how you would sort of express it, explain it, would be like different, or there would be like small little differences there, and you would sort of have this whole different worldview. You would be like, whoa, like this same thing can be viewed from this perspective, you know, I've never thought about it. So it's very exciting in this way. So, you know, this goes for any language, and this is how you learn, really, because like grammar and all that, that's just like, you know, math that you need on the way. And the best way to add grammar for me personally is also when you're sort of using this language, when you do have a place to use it, when you do have a certain reason you want to express it, like when it's really necessary. Because when it's unnecessary, I mean, it's still useful, right? But maybe it's easier to forget. But when you are like really practicing it, this is when you learn so quickly. So the best thing to do is really, you know, if you have a chance to go somewhere, to be somewhere, well, now in these days it may be a bit complicated, but you can still do something on the internet, for example, right? And there you sort of can use it, right? And use it in your own way, right? It doesn't have to be textbook. Textbooks can be useful too, but I would use them as a tool, you know, to help you rather than to be like the main thing, because the main thing is within you, and you know, you enjoying the process, you enjoying the language, right? So yeah, this is like my approach to learning languages, and it's always very exciting. I also love how different accents sound, how, you know, people speak. To me, all languages are beautiful in their own way. So yeah, I believe that a lot of language learners can relate, but also if you are considering to learn a language, if you are in the process but you're struggling, or you know, something like that, don't worry, everyone's learning process is different. Also, by the way, I did graduate from, you know, linguistics as well. It was part of my degree at the university because I was so much into languages. So I can tell you from, you know, what I've sort of researched there is that everyone is different. Everyone's pace is different. You know, some people are quicker, some people are slower, and but it doesn't matter when the result is, you know, the same, and it's really up to you. So don't be discouraged. Just trust, believe in yourself, believe in God, and yeah, just enjoy the process. Just try to see it, you know, use it, enjoy the language. You know, when you enjoy it, it really comes a lot easier. So, you know, try to use your imagination when you learn it. So I hope this video helps. I hope this video inspires you, and yeah, feel free to subscribe to this channel. I also do have spiritual channels which are about spiritual growth, about God, about our spiritual development. Spirituality is so important. And it's not the kind of spirituality that is popular in the world. It is the right kind of godly spirituality, which is very important to know for us, because there's a lot of confusion going on in the world. But that's a whole different topic, and that's in the channel, so I also invite you to check it out. And yeah, so thank you for watching, and I will see you in another video.